DPTV Uganda, Down People Television.
The president is alive in that TV. The president is just alive in that Serena Hotel where the presidential debate is going to be taking place. As you can see, he is just alive, received by the...
And me. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you as a typical Ugandan. I've grown up in your faces. I've grown up from the lowest of society to here where I am today. I am a symbol of resilience, a symbol of discipline. I came from the ghetto, the worst of character, but to be that I'm a happily and decently married man, well educated and all that, that speaks of my character. Ladies and gentlemen, I present myself to this generation, to unite this generation, to uplift this generation, to stop tribalism, to unite the country. And with your support, with your endorsement, I am sure we can all change Uganda. I've said it before and I say it again. I don't present myself as the most capable or the most educated or the oldest or the most experienced, but the most committed to lead this generation out of slavery. When you vote for me, when you vote for the National Unity Platform, you'll be voting to end 40 years of dictatorship. You will be voting for servant leadership. I present myself not as a boss, but as a servant. And most importantly, we as a nation will be able to march forward together. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please remember that we have an opportunity to redefine our history, an opportunity to start over again. This opportunity is coming on the 15th of January to end the hate, to end the historical injustices, to end tribalism, and to rebuild our country. I am sure Ugandans, especially the young ones, love each other. They want to live together, but they are stuck in the past. It is our opportunity to unchain and unhinge and move forward. Therefore, I call upon all of you to vote for me. Yes, I have the highest respect for all these contenders right here, but I'm the best choice. The people of Uganda have shown it to you. It is only a pretender that will not agree that the person elected to be president of Uganda in 2021 was Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert. The people of Uganda have consistently shown it to you from the north to the south, from the east to the west. None of the candidates can win me in an election, even in their own backyard. Therefore, I might fail to convince them to join the winning team. But you, the people of Uganda, have always taken a lead. You have led us. Please lead us. Let us liberate our country, and forever we shall end this slavery. I thank you for God and my country.
All right. Let's have order in the room.
Thank you so much. I respect you, comrade. You talked of coalition or getting behind Honorable Kyagulanyi. I appreciate Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi's role in bringing this struggle where it is. But what you should know, Honorable, is that this struggle started way back from the Kairas, the Dr. Semogerere. Dr. Semogerere in 1996 had the biggest crowd, which we have not seen. Haji Nassan Jege Sebagala had a crowd, a 1 million march. He didn't even smell at presidency. Retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye. Go and look at the footage of the rallies Dr. Semogerere had. I mean Dr. Kiza Besigye had. Dr. Besigye has not delivered us to Canaan. It's unfortunate. The crowds are important, but it has to be a guided crowd with a focus, as General Muntu said. That is the reason as to why Dr. Agre Chiyingi was not staying in Uganda and was feared more than the people who are sleeping here in Wakiso, because Mr. Museveni knows he will contain them at the end of the day. They are not even focusing at presidency. We are looking at removing Mr. Museveni. In fact, I would be the person the Honorable Kyagulanyi would rather behind. I don't want Ugandans to be disappointed again, and at the end, they tell you, I'm the solution to this country. Don't expect me to tell you, We have all the plans from A to Z.
Response would be naemulira. Thank you very much, dear distinguished moderators, honorable colleagues with whom I'm running for the noble responsibility of leading our nation, ladies and gentlemen present here, and those watching us from afar. I am humbled to be here contesting to lead our country, and it's great pleasure and honor to be representing the common people of our country. As a person who comes from the ghetto and rose to represent the nation at the highest level, I cannot take any further pride than that. But also, I am aware that we are in a nation that is at crossroads. We had independence 63 years ago, and 40 of those years have been covered by one man who has reduced our country to a failed state. Absolutely, it is clear to all and sundry that this nation, which is primarily young, has clearly made a decision, only that they have been stifled. I am aware that I will be taking over a nation where 1.5 babies are born every year, taking over a nation where almost half of the budget goes to servicing debts. I'm aware that I'm taking over a nation that is deeply divided, but committed and ready to unite our country, which we've already started doing. What we promise is a new Uganda which is going to reset. Our country has completely been messed, and it needs to start afresh. Every institution has been captured, and we intend to start again in a new Uganda where people are going to be servants, where citizens of Uganda should take over power to decide the destiny of their lives. As we stand right now, the people of Uganda don't have a vote, they don't have a voice, and they don't have power over their nation. The state has been captured completely, and we hope to liberate not just the citizens, but also those that are leading the country. On a downside, I had really hoped to meet General Museveni here, so I could publicly face him and hear what more lies he has to tell us after 40 years. To hear from him straight the gains he's protecting. Is he protecting the potholes? Is he protecting the rotten hospitals? Is he protecting the broken down schools, the broken down infrastructure? Is he protecting his power and right to torture citizens? I had always wanted to hear that, not privately, but publicly from General Museveni. Anyway, it's all right that he's not here because he's in the past and we are discussing the future of our country. So I'm very glad and I hope to share ideas and to teach and learn from our colleagues. But of course, I must assert it that the people of Uganda, especially the young generation, the new generation that I largely represent, is committed to changing their country and to taking back the right to determine their destiny. I am ready and committed to lead the charge to change Uganda, so help us the Almighty God.
All right, as we do go on, be reminded that our first theme of the night is youth unemployment and economic reset. This is where we'd like to turn to Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the one who has quite a large youth following. These are young boys and girls who need technical skills that are primarily scarce in our country right now. We look to training, we look to education, vocational education, and we also look to tertiary education that is still by and large weak. And also the digital economy is leaving so many people behind. From what you have seen in the many days you have been all over this country, if you were to become president, what immediate reforms will you use to drive an overhaul in TVET and then also build real digital skills and ensure that the young person you have been meeting on this campaign trail is actually not locked out of the future?
Thank you very much. And I'm glad you mentioned that indeed we've been traveling all over the country. For me, this is more realistic than idealistic. These are not just statistics, these are realities. These are people. We've been there, and in every urban town we've reached, you've seen hundreds of young people that show up that are desperate, they're strong, they're talented, they want to work, but these are young people that have been failed by a system. It should be noted that Uganda is ranked the most entrepreneurial country in Africa. However, the young people are being failed because 70% of the small businesses that are started do not live to complete one full year. They are failed because of high taxes. They are failed because of the cost of money, high interest rates. They are failed because of high electricity rates. They are failed because of high transportation, and this comes because of the broken down transport infrastructure. As a national unity platform in a new Uganda, we have a plan of establishing 10 million jobs. From here, we're going to do this by leveraging the tourism sector. As you know, Uganda is immensely gifted. We're going to leverage the manufacturing sector, and most importantly, the creative industry. Now, having come from the creative industry, I know the potential of the creative industry. Uganda is equally as talented as Nigeria, or even more talented. But looking at the Nigeria's creative industry, it is almost outcompeting the oil industry. In fact, they call it the new oil because it is largely seen as even more engaging and more incorporating of young people, of the ordinary citizen, than the oil sector. Now, our plan is as follows. First, we want to empower and support the small, medium enterprises and the cottage industries. Now, for the benefit of our voters out there, cottage industries are the small scale industries, mainly in homesteads that are majoring in production. These, we must understand, looking at the growing economies of the world, these have been the unsung heroes of these growing economies. China, India, Brazil, name it. So, looking at these examples, we think it can be a benefit in Uganda. I'm looking at areas, especially these that are near borders, like Arua, like Chisoro, like Kabale. If they are supported, they could boost even production, and they could even boost export, looking at production of textiles.
When you say supported, what does that mean?
Supported means cutting down, reducing the cost of doing business, reducing the power costs, reducing the cost of money, reducing the interest rates, investing in transport infrastructure. This would make it easier for them, and it would boost them. Also, it's important to mention that in this line, we want to boost production. In our manifesto, we presented our school feeding program, where the government is going to be feeding children at school. Now, the people that are going to be supplying these foodstuffs are going to be the ordinary citizens, and in the new Uganda, the government will work with the parent teachers associations, the PTA, to ensure that they identify not only the most vulnerable, but also the most trusted and competent suppliers, the eggs, the wheat, the rice, the flour, to feed the children. This way, we're going to be able to support even the small producers, the women, and the ordinary people out there. We believe that this is not only going to boost education, but it's going to help in youth unemployment. We also intend to modernize our skills development.
Your time is spent, but I'm going to allow you a minute. You have made recognition of manufacturing and tourism. These are high level in terms of strategic for any presidential candidate. Leaders have been describing it as Uganda's economic growth. However, there's one structural problem that still hinders both sectors right now, and that is unreliable power supply and high electricity costs. What's your solution?
Well, the high electricity costs can be renegotiated. As government, we can go as far as renegotiating with Bujagali. to ensure that the power comes down, because that is what is going to help the productivity. There's one thing, if you allow me also talk about, that's the exploitation. The current government prides in youth employment, where mainly the industries that are owned by foreigners actually exploit the citizens to an extent that young Ugandans are paid as low as 3,500 shillings a day. Now, I was in Parliament in 2019 and we passed the minimum wage bill. Unfortunately, General Museveni refused to sign it. Now, we are going to reintroduce it in a new Uganda, and I will sign it because I will be president. Thank you very much. You see, before we find a solution, it's very important for us to analyze the problem. I think it all begins and ends with leadership, and Mildred mentioned it a few moments ago, that the fish rots right from the head. It all goes back to governance. It all goes back to the political will to fight freedom. As we stand right now, the Inspector General of Government, the IGG, Mulyagonja, mentioned some time ago that the big fish in corruption are always pursued and they hide behind the president. We are in a country where the head of state is the chief priest of corruption. You have seen scandal after scandal, and all the culprits of corruption are protected by the head of state. You saw Anita Among, the current Speaker of Parliament, sanctioned internationally because of corruption by being protected by the head of state. Just a few days ago, a person that the court actually said had a case to answer on corruption, a minister called Lugorobi, he was cleared. Meanwhile, on the same day, other people were being arrested. There was allegations around Parliament, allegations of corruption, and the leader of opposition, who happens to be in presence today, wrote to the IGG to investigate those cases, and the IGG went mute. You have seen scandal after scandal in Parliament, 40 million bribe, 50 million bribe, 100 million bribe, all in exchange for the passing of classified money to be used by General Museveni, etc., etc. We have demonstrated our stand on corruption with the little power that we have. And we indeed continue to commit to Ugandans that as president, I will lead by example. When the president fights corruption, when the president observes zero tolerance to corruption, it goes down to the ministers, goes down to the permanent secretaries, and all the way down to all government officials. Our commitment will be zero tolerance to corruption. We've demonstrated that, and we will ensure that anybody that puts their hand in public money, the hand will not come out there, but the neck will go there as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Robert Gulani.
Thank you very much, Mildred. I feel at loss because as a present victim of security, I did not get opportunity to be asked for a comment about security, and as a way of blocking and bridging, you would allow me just to wrap very quickly my comment on security. And it all goes back to state capture, because that is the problem. Every institution of state is captured, including the military. And unfortunately, it's the military that is being used to capture the rest of Ugandans. The question of the military was settled way back in 1995 when the current constitution was promulgated. And Article 208 of the current constitution is to the effect that the UPDF shall be non-partisan, the UPDF shall be national in character, and the UPDF shall be subordinate to civilian authority. Unfortunately, that law is nothing more than the paper on which it's written. Now, the UPDF is reduced to a tool of oppression. It has been said before that there are no bad soldiers, there are only bad commanders. And the statement is true with the UPDF, because now you will notice that the problem begins with the appointments. The appointments are done according to relationship, and thirdly, according to DNA. You have seen police officers, military officers coming out to make political statements against the law, and nothing happens. You saw Brigadier Koldo Kidi. You have seen General Museveni's son making political statements, and nothing has happened, and the list is endless. Our plan for the military, first and foremost, because they are desperate as well, they need to be paid right in order for the right thing to be demanded of them. And we've made it clear as a national unity platform that we shall ensure that our men and women in uniform, both in the UPDF and police, are well paid, and they will be demanded to respect the people of Uganda. There should be a strict code of conduct. Recruitment and promotion shall be done on merit. And also, it's very, very important for me, on behalf of the National Unity Platform, to commit that while I'm president, I will never, ever use the military or the police to play politics. Now, having made that comment, allow me very quickly to respond to the questions I heard from Mwakesa, and I appreciate your efforts and your contribution to the tourism industry. But we must understand that it all begins and ends with governance. Just go to Google and type in Uganda. Imagine you're outside Uganda and type in Uganda. You'll see what it brings to you. Will that be reason for you to tour Uganda? So it is not us to create an image or a brand of Uganda. The brand of Uganda is being messed by those that are in power, and it is upon us to remove them from power so that we can present a good brand. Uganda is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and our tourism potential is robust, but it is being messed by those that are in power, because what matters to them is not what the country gets. The main occupation of the state in Uganda is regime survival, not serving the country, not developing the country, not developing any sector. My brother from ANT mentioned that I said, yes, I said that. I've said it many times. I'm saying it right now. I'm a rebel, but I'm a legitimate rebel. You've seen the president of the Uganda Law Society calling himself a legal rebel. I'm a legitimate rebel. I'm just like the Museveni of the 1980s, only that we are non-violent. That's the difference. Okay, we are within the law, we are non-violent, but we are rebels, we operate like rebels.
Allow me to just stick to what you were talking about.
Yes, please.
There's a question here from Mr. Chigongo, and he's asking, what are your plans towards bolstering multilateralism as well as bilateral relations?
Present yourselves as Ugandans. Let us present Uganda on the same moral standard with our country, with other countries. We want to relate with Kenya. Kenya has a semblance of democracy. We want to relate with democracies, but we are bringing dictatorship to them. Let us level up. Let us have the moral standard. Let us be on the same moral standard with other countries, and we are going to be respected. Now we are not respected, we are only feared.
Okay, thank you very much.
And you did not allow me to...
I'll be...